Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. I found a little bit more because I really didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start over. Sorry. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Valentine TV. Thank y'all for stopping by. I hope y'all please like, subscribe, share it if you can. Also, if you see a hype button, please hit it. The reaction today is coming from Carolina Crush TV on YouTube, and you can also find him on Instagram. But I just found it, and I'm just gonna play like the uh public reaction and telling you some of his views from only the our people and the white YT people. Okay, thank y'all. Hold on one second. Here we go. Oh, and I also want to thank y'all for all your prayers and stuff. Um, you know, as far as my mom goes and her passing on Monday night, and I received a lot of love. Thank y'all so much.
And I'll be back.
Charlie Kirk was shot today. Let's take a look at the legacy that he will leave behind. So how about we start with his campaign to dismantle the legacy of the civil rights movement. In a December 2023 speech, Charlie Kirk didn't just critique Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he launched a full-scale character assassination, labeling him as awful and not a good person, claiming he's only admired for saying things he didn't actually believe. Now, he went even further. Kirk called the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 a huge mistake and argued that it created a permanent DEI type of bureaucracy. Now, he pushed the radical theory as well that the act, in his words, superseded the U.S. Constitution. And then when he was challenged, he doubled down, calling MLK a mythological anti-racist creation, and then bragged about targeting the sacred cow of modern America. On a publicly celebrated the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And here's what he said when he was asked if he would force his own 10-year-old daughter to carry a pregnancy to term after she was assaulted.
And she was 10 and she was going to give birth and she would and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
It's but it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Now, on gun violence, consistently downplayed America's gun.
Oh my God, I didn't know him. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I didn't know who this man was. No, I don't think he should have been pow pow. No, nobody should. But you know, so I you send my condolences to his children. I feel bad for the children, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay.
Epidemic.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
On race in Black America, Charlie Kirk supported a ban on DEI, overturning the Civil Rights Act and promoting a whitewash version of history. He supported banning AP African American Studies and even said that when it comes to slavery, there's a lot more to the story. And when it comes to Black professionals, on pilots, he stated, if I see a Black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He also blamed Black people for the air traffic controller crisis. He frequently disparages Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson as a diversity hire and insisted that she was only appointed because she's a Black woman. He denies that systemic racism even exists and supports punitive sentencing and then referred to George Floyd as a scumbag. He even led the efforts to pardon Derek Chauvin, the police officer that was convicted. Now, on women and misogyny, he's no better. His misogyny covers us all. He went on a bizarre rant directed at Taylor Swift, instructing her to submit to her husband. And he also claimed that men don't want to date women in their 30s because we're not at our prime. On LGBTQ plus rights, Charlie Kirk has labeled the LGBTQ plus community a cult. He even cited a Bible verse that calls for gay people to be put as.
Wow, I did not really. I just saw this morning, y'all, and I said I'm gonna go ahead because it may be more people out there like me that didn't even know. I didn't even know he existed, to tell you the truth. But yeah, the wife picked him. She had the same views, had to, and she know who she married. But I feel sorry. I mean, my condolences to the daughter, and the other people in the family that didn't have those kind of views. Wow, I didn't know that.
God's perfect law. He advocates for a nationwide ban on gender-affirming care and calls the transgender identity a lie that hurts people his kids. On democracy and January 6th, his group, Turning Point USA, was deeply involved in efforts to try and overturn the 2020 election. He bragged about sending 80 buses to Washington, D.C. on January 6th for people to fight for Donald Trump. And then when he was subpoenaed by the House committee investigating the insurrection, he pled the fifth. On Palestine, he denies the very existence of the Palestinian people and their homeland and says outright that Palestinians in Palestine just doesn't exist.
I don't think the place exists.
What?
Because it doesn't. It's called Judea and Samaria. It's not called Palestine.
You don't believe that Palestine have the right to exist?
No, everyone has a right to exist. Show me where it is. It's a non-existent place.
He has routinely championed what Israel's doing and a he's championed it, and he's a friend to Israel. Also rallied against COVID-19 and public health measures to stop the spread of the virus, spread dangerous vaccine information. His organization also said something blatantly false about Jamie Foxx and said that he was paralyzed and blind from a COVID vaccination.
Y'all know what Jamie Foxx, we know who had a hand in with Jamie Foxx. But yeah, y'all, I did not know that he had these kind of like views. Really, I didn't. Wow. And y'all, please be nice in the comments toward me. Please don't be rude. But put in the comments, what kind of man did you think he was, and how do you feel about now that you hear all this? It totally turned me. You know, I don't believe in the pow stuff, but man, I mean, it's a bunch of enemies out there for, if he was like this, it's a lot of people out there probably wanted to do this, the pow part. So, wow, even the Palestinian people, I mean, every nation, every color, oh, Lord.
On student loan forgiveness, he opposed student loan forgiveness despite his own group, Turning Point USA, taking $350,000 in COVID relief PPP loans that were later forgiven. Charlie was the founder of Turning Point USA. Their tactics include a professor watch list that is designed to intimidate and harass academics, a school board watch list targeting officials who support public health measures or the teaching of accurate history. He also meddles in student government elections to defund progressive groups. On Trump and Christian nationalism, he played a huge role in getting Trump elected. He organized voter drives and events, and he's often credited for delivering the youth vote for Trump. He invokes the Seven Mountains Mandate, a call for conservative Christians to seize control of all aspects of society. He says Donald Trump is a crucial figure in restoring this so-called Christian morality, and has even called for a full military occupation of American cities after the DC occupation to restore order. So knowing all of that, how do you think Charlie Kirk will be remembered?
I'm not going to celebrate what happened to Charlie Kirk, but I'm not going to mourn him either. Charlie Kirk was a terrible person. He was a racist and a misogynist and a fascist. Charlie Kirk laughed in the face of school shootings. And before those children were even buried, every single time he would trot himself out and say, "This is just the price that you pay."
See? I wondered, see? And so how should we remember him? It's just the price that you pay. Take a minute to get yourself. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute, y'all. And came on me, y'all. But yeah, how would so he said it takes a couple of pals. I mean, we speaking about like children too. It take a couple of pals so we can keep our Fifth Amendment rights and all that stuff. Yeah, he said that. I just heard it this morning.
For freedom. But here's the thing. Charlie Kirk never conceived of himself being the one that would have to pay the price for that freedom. He always thought the consequence would fall on you. Yeah, you and me. People that didn't move in his circles, people he didn't know. He never thought those consequences would find him. And when it was just you and your kids, he didn't care. And he laughed about it. He thought it was funny. And the last thing that Charlie Kirk ever said in this world was a message of hatred, talking about how people are more likely to perform mass shootings and therefore should lose constitutional rights. Charlie Kirk died with hate in his mouth. Charlie Kirk laughed at the misfortune of others. Charlie Kirk was a terrible human being. Did he deserve what happened to him? No, I don't think so. But did he create the atmosphere that allowed it to happen? Sure, partially. Because every word out of Charlie Kirk's mouth was hate and dehumanization and debasement. And it was all in service of making money. And the sad thing about Charlie Kirk, maybe the saddest thing that I can think of, I'm not even sure he believed the things that he said, because he always smelled more like a grifter than a true believer to me.
Wow.
There was always something about him that said to me, this is just some schmuck trying to make a quick dollar. Sad.
So is it the guns yet? Are we ready to be done with this yet? Is Republican Senator Mike Lee going to make jokes about this, like he did when Melissa Hortman and her family were in their home? Is J.D. Vance going to call this a fact of life, and Donald Trump going to tell us we just need to move on, like they do when little innocent children have their lives stolen from them while they're in school? Because I would bet my left kidney that is not what's going to happen, and that the Republican response to this will not be clamoring for gun control. So here's what I have to say on the matter. Gun is indiscriminate, and you know what else it is? It's preventable. You know, like every other civilized country on the face of the planet has done. Because would it shock you to know that in the midst of all this with Charlie Kirk in Utah, where, by the way, it's perfectly legal for an 18-year-old to concealed carry a firearm on a public university campus. Can't see any issue with that. Anyway, would it shock you to know that in Colorado there was another shooting that left 3 students in critical condition? Like 2 weeks ago, there were children who had their lives stolen while they were praying. It's the guns.
Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this.
Yeah, wow. This, dang, Charlie Kirk, I did not know he stirred up all of this kind of stuff, and this coming from his own people. So they cannot say, no, not us. We ain't say, well, we said a little bit, the first lady, but yeah, it's coming from his own people, right? And they asking legitimate questions, about it being 10 years old, and if you were violated, would you have to still have that baby at 10 years old? And you said, yeah, I don't think you really meant it deep in your heart, though. Your own daughter? No. When it happens at your house, it's a different story than people that you don't know. So I don't. But anyway, he said, yeah. But here's another young lady.
Said a few deaths a year are worth it if it meant preserving our God-given right to bear arms. He actively fought against women's rights. He's openly Islamophobic, and he spreads anti-trans rhetoric. He supported the ethnic cleansing in Gaza, and he said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. He called vaccine requirements a medical apartheid and said that empathy is a made-up word. How many children, teens, and adults have died by suicide because of his rhetoric? How many school shootings did he excuse this year? How many women died because they couldn't get access to safe abortions? How many hate crimes happened because of him? Spare me the empathy, because he didn't believe in it either. And let's be clear, the only people I have sympathy for are his kids, not his wife. She chose him. She stood by him, she supported him, and she co-signed everything he said and did. She laid in bed with that man knowing exactly who he was. The only people I will feel sorry for are his children. They didn't choose this, and now they have to grow up with the weight of his legacy. Someone said that his daughters didn't deserve to grow up without a dad. Well, they had a dad, and he openly said he would force his daughters to give birth if they. I think they're actually better off without him.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger.
All right, here we go with the speech. Okay, you see he's covering that there in hand, but Trump, wow. Let's see what he has to say, but I'm sure he's gonna be all nice about it, because he was pulling for Trump, period. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not independent. I'm nothing. Okay, so please don't come for me like that.
At the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them.
I wonder which God is he talking about, right? Because if y'all watch my last video, which I did, my last reaction rather, that I did from The Truth Is, as far as when this first happened, before I even knew about who he was really. It shows as soon as he said a certain, violence with the GUNS's, that's when he got hit in the neck, right? I'm like, that. I mean, now they saying it was 175 feet away, right? George. Anyway, it was far. But Trump, yeah, yeah, they doing the normal stuff that they do, but oh my God.
In this terrible hour of heartache and pain, this is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace.
But now that have heard his speeches, Lord, what kind of God did he serve? What was his Christianity? They had to make up one for that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. My condolences, yes, always to the children. Yes, in this instance, always to the children. That's oh my God. And Trump just doing his normal routine, and they gonna have somebody else in his spot in a second. I told y'all about JD Vance, that he was the last one with Hulk Hogan with the Pope that passed, and I forgot the other one. And then you see who was in front of the casket when they was taking it home, put it on the airplane, and he said he ready to step in for Trump at any time if anything suddenly happens. So y'all better watch Vance, because I think JD Vance, up to something, and I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, really, I am.
Long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now.
And do y'all know that the person that out him, now that they let go of the footage, I'm gonna go get some of the footage, right? And once I learned how to edit, I could have put it in here, but I don't know. But anyway, it says he's a what you call it, wounded veteran. He's a Caucasian man, wounded veteran. He had to be a freaking sniper to shoot. I mean, to pop out like that. He only used one pow, one, and he didn't hit. I mean, I heard a couple people got hurt. I don't know if that was from the running because there was a lot of people there. But also, I think from the speeches I've heard this morning that he was leading them the wrong way, the wrong like a hatred way. No coming together, no, yeah. He was taking us backwards, in my opinion. That's my opinion, y'all. All right, so don't please be nice. And then, but yeah, Vance, y'all better watch out. But they'll have Charlie Kirk's position filled. Watch quick. Watch Trump. Watch him. Watch
My
watch how
administration
everything moves now. Just watch how everything moves. Let's see what's gonna happen. Cause I'm seeing it all over the TV, all over some. But those little kids that were praying, and the person went in there and pop out and took them out of here. Charlie Kirk said you have to take a few casualties in order to keep our freedom and to keep our GUNS laws, right? So that's the type of person that we're talking about right now. I mean, I wouldn't celebrate him being gone, but I'm not going like, I don't feel nothing. Now I don't, not now I don't. I do for his 2 kids though. Yeah, that's it. Not even for the wife. But here we go.
will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials,
already
and
know
everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives.
Shoot, them people that was doing all the pow and that did it to like the husband and wife, the older couple, those were that was a Republican. I mean, a registered Republican. So come on now. Don't I mean all y'all go together. So it really don't matter mix and mingle, you know. But yeah, most of them registered Republicans, okay? They just got tired of the laws of the Republicans, and they just snapped. I don't know. But yeah, it's Democrat and Republican. So no.
Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God.
Oh, yeah, it's free speech, but now that I think about it, I don't care about the free speech. Yeah, everybody have your own opinion, free speech, all that. But the difference between him, he was putting the action behind the hatred speeches. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the way I see it. And as far as this God that you speak of, Trump, who are you talking to? You gotta be looking down, cause you sure ain't looking up when you say that. Not with him and not with you. You man, that's it. That's all. Let's see.
Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close.
We just got close to them during they got close to them Epstein files. Now we had to get a distraction. That's exactly how I'm seeing it. A distraction that not even working. Doesn't even work. You know.
May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right. Let's see what Carolina KRUSH.
All right, so we just got finished hearing all of that, and without diving into any type of conspiracy theories, I will say that I believe that there's more to the story here in regards to why Charlie Kirk was taken out in the fashion that he was. I just don't understand it. He was in a safe state, a red state, in the middle of Utah. Of course, it's a place where he would feel the most protected, you know, without any type of security around him. This wasn't Chicago. This wasn't Detroit. This wasn't DC. This wasn't the A. This was Utah. So I feel that he felt that he could walk around and just be himself in a place that really loves the talking points that he exudes on a day-to-day basis. Now, I will say this. I made a friend yesterday from Utah, and his name is Matt, and he sent me a couple of photos from the incident because he was there. And basically, he heard people talking about the fact that the reason why Charlie Kirk was going around to all of these colleges and speaking to the youth is because he had plans to run for president in 2028. And also people were questioning, and somebody asked somebody within the group that they were talking in, is it true that Charlie Kirk had something on the Trump administration? Now, I'm not saying that this is factual or whatever. This is just all talk. But that is what Matt told me yesterday. Now, if it's true that Charlie did have aspirations to run for president of the United States of America, it does make sense that he was going around to colleges talking to.
Exactly. Bingo. There we go. Maybe. Allegedly. But I knew it was something else. I knew it was a reason. There's always a distraction for a reason. And if the older, well, no, I ain't gonna say older, but if they think that somebody's gonna replace them, they have to eliminate the competition. I'm gonna put it that way. I don't know who did it. I don't know what happened. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just doing a reaction, okay? All right. Here we go. I love y'all.
Young students, trying to get them on the Charlie Kirk train, trying to change some of their thought process or the way that they think about politics in America so that he could have a strong backing once he put his name in the hat to run for the president of the United States. But hey, listen, I don't know. So I'm going to draw the line here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about all.
Yeah, please drop down. Let me know what you think about all of it. Please, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it so very much. And thank y'all so much for everything and your patience with me and everything. All right, so I'm gonna just stop right here. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to y'all later, okay? All right. Bye, y'all.